is Ian de Vos.
In the 24 years of its existence, the Star Lesotho Sun Roof of Africa Rally has earned a reputation as one of the toughest off-road events in the world. Each year, intrepid drivers, navigators and riders trek to Lesotho to challenge mountain trails, rain or snow, intense heat or bitter cold, and thick mud or choking dust. It's madness in the mountains, but each year competitors from South Africa and overseas come back for more.
This year we're going to just play our cards right. Stay with the pace, not try and run in front. If we do run in front, we'll just stay in front sufficiently to make sure that we win it in the end.
With the vehicle as it is now, as we've said so many times, I think our chances are exceptionally good. With the weather being as it is, and the car is set up more for dry weather conditions, even although it's a 4x4, I think we're going to have a tremendous run.
I like these long distance races. Keeping it all together for 1,000 k's is what it's all about.
Ek sien die roof soortgelyk aan 'n Curriebeeker eindstryd. Die man wat die minste foute maak hier is miskien die man wat op die einde die knoop gaan deurraak.
We're confident that the space frames will pull it off. We're going to give the trucks hell. This is our race. They reckon that they're going to win. We're going to give them hell.
I think that on this event, most important thing is to keep going. Not the first or second day that important. The third day is the decider, as we saw last year.
Last year it was, to find out everything. So this year I know it a little bit. So I think it can be much, much better.
Well, they've made it a bit easier this year. Okay, the distance is longer, but all the big passes where, it takes it out on you, and the toughest oak, I think, can do well there. You can make up time there. They've taken that all out, and they made the race a lot easier. They're trying to get more finishes, so it's going to be a close racing because there's not much skill involved. It's just going to be, I think, very fast.
Yeah, we learned to ride the wet a little better, but with this dry weather, it definitely favour us. I think if it gets hot tomorrow, they're going to battle because they've just come from Europe, and temperatures are a lot cooler.
The German guys, I don't think we have to worry about. It's hot enough. I think they're just going to melt in the heat, if you ask me.
Cars, competitors and crowds made for a colourful scenario as the traditional round-the-houses events for the various classes of vehicles got underway. In both the four-wheel and two-wheel categories, the round-the-houses races are split into classes because of the huge overall entry. With combined times from the round-the-houses thrash and a time trial determining start positions for the race proper, there is always plenty of early action. It all helps to get a little adrenaline pumping. The start of the round-the-houses event for the motorcycles resembled a motorized charge of the Light Brigade. This year's bike entry included 14 riders from overseas countries, led by Austrian Heinz Kindergartner, who is a former world motocross champion. A great duel was expected between the overseas contingent and the locals, with the hot and dusty conditions giving the South Africans a slight edge, if you could get a motorcycle to run under its own steam. Competitors usually use the round-the-houses and time trial as a final shakedown for vehicles. Although good start positions can sometimes offer a small advantage, long-distance endurance races are not won on the opening day. The Roof of Africa has a reputation for bringing rain to Lesotho. This time, indications were that the event would be dry and dusty, with the conditions favouring the space frame single and twin-seater cars, rather than the four-wheel drive buckies. As with any form of motorsport, the more competitive machinery is highly sophisticated. This applies equally to the space frame cars as well as the buckies, and many of the vehicles are directly imported from the United States or are based on American designs. Some local inhabitants set a slower pace, but the turbocharged Toyota of Philip Malone and Richard Leek claimed pole position. There are those who are of the opinion that to tackle the roof on two wheels, you need to be crazy. At the end of 3 days and nearly 1,000 kilometers of tortuous conditions, many competitors would probably agree. Men and machinery take a tremendous battering. Road surfaces continuously change, and the highly unpredictable Lesotho weather always provides for an unknown factor. Over the years, the roof has produced some memorable performances from the Ironman motorcyclists. American legend Malcolm Smith is one of the only 2 roof competitors ever to have won both the car and bike categories. This year, former bike winner Neil Woolridge was hoping to join Smith and Kenny Skoldhammer to form an elite trio. The way the bikers tackled the 62-kilometer time trial, you would have thought the roof was a sprint event. Keeping the throttle wide open is the only tactic the bikers followed. When the organisers released the combined round the houses and time trial results, it was no surprise to see South African ace Jeremy Davies qualifying first. Heinz Kindergartner was the first of the 3 overseas riders to make it into the top 10. A typical Lesotho sunrise greeted the bike competitors early the following morning for the start of the first racing section. Last year's joint winner, Jeremy Davies, led away the field, and ahead of them lay 491 kilometers of tough racing over varying terrain. It was going to be a tough day. Davies took a heavy fall during the Round the Houses event and hurt a leg muscle.